Hi friends, Sarah here from Sunset Bow. I am alive. I've been kind of out of pocket for a while, I think about a month. I actually spent basically the entirety of November being ridiculously sick. Like literally a solid month. I'm pretty sure I actually like fully lost my voice for 3 weeks. I don't know if you can hear, but it actually isn't even like back to 100% yet. I'm still got some gravel in there when I try to talk, but yeah, I got crazy sick and there were multiple doctor's visits and multiple medications and just like the worst flu cold thing in the world. And you know how not only losing my voice kind of made it impossible for me to film any videos, but also like my brain kind of wasn't working. So tarot sort of took a back burner for a while. You know that feeling that you get when you're like not feeling very well and you're like, hey brain, can you please do like the difficult and subtle work of interpreting this set of complex symbols that I put in front of you? And your brain's like, how about instead we sleep for 14 hours? So that's pretty much where I was for kind of the entire month of November. So I'm finally getting back to it, finally getting my voice back a bit, and definitely feeling better. And so I thought I'd start off with an unboxing of a deck that I just got on Saturday, actually, so 2 days ago. And it's a Kickstarter deck. I actually, because of this illness, I managed to succeed at No Deck November. Which is amazing. And the only reason is literally because I was too sick to like think about shopping for tarot decks, but I did get a couple of decks in the mail that I had got, done the Kickstarter for several months earlier. And I'm probably going to do some kind of like a little haul video because there's several where I think a lot of people had ordered those decks. Like I did get, Spirit Keepers Tarot, and I got the Dream Keepers Tarot, just some decks that where I'm sure there's probably a lot of videos out there already on them. But this one was kind of a smaller Kickstarter that I don't think got quite as much attention. So this is the Lion's Gateway Tarot, and the creator of this deck is named Jessica Henry. And so she did a Kickstarter that, again, it just didn't get quite as much attention. I think she only ended up with maybe about 70 backers or so, and I think it was just because it kind of wasn't, she's newer to Kickstarter, and so it didn't have this sort of like professional sheen that some of the other Kickstarter campaigns tend to have. But I really liked her artwork, so I decided to kind of take the plunge and get the deck, and I finally got it, and I'm super excited about it. So I thought I would open it up and take a look on camera. So she, her artwork is, basically it's called pyrographic artwork, which basically means, her artwork is done in the form of wood burning. And so each card was wood burned onto, a wooden panel and then oil painted, over the wood burning. So the artwork to me had kind of a little bit of a naive feel, a little bit of a folk art kind of feel, and that really appealed to me a lot. And so, so I decided to go ahead and do the Kickstarter. And here we go. Looks like everything's wrapped up in another little bag here. All right. That's very nice. And so here we go. One thing that she did do is she did make a handmade pouch, card pouch for I think the first 50 backers. So this would be my pouch that I got, which is very nice. And then here is the deck, and as you can see, it comes in a really nice box, and all of her sort of artwork style and imagery is on the box as well. So on the back here it says, the Lion's Gateway leads directly to the heart with expressive colors, iconic imagery, and a strong emphasis on traditional symbolism. The primitive wood-burned images evoke the quintessential energies of the tarot, providing both expert and novice easy access to the mysteries of tarot divination, by artist Jessica Lee Henry. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this box here. Take the shrink wrap off. And so yeah, this is a very, very nice two-part, very sturdy box. And again, I like the colors. I like the artwork on this box. I really, the sort of, like she uses the word primitive, the sort of primitive folk arty kind of naive feel of the artwork really appealed to me. I really like that kind of artwork. And so here are the cards, and it comes with just a little white book, Lions Gateway Tarot. And it looks like the book is pretty small, just about 47 pages. I know that the card imagery is actually very, very traditional, and it's really more of the artwork style that really distinguishes it. The actual symbolism and imagery themselves are quite traditional. So, you know, not a ton of just specific information here. You know, it's kind of a typical little white book, but I don't think that there is, you know, a lot kind of going on in the imagery that would need an extra explanation. And so here are the cards, and wow, you can see that they're really lovely. It's a big card, definitely a big deck, so you can sort of see here how large the deck is. And it's lovely cardstock. I know it's 350 GSM cardstock. She did do gilded edges on it, which are very beautiful. This has been out in the cold, so it's just got fingerprints from a little bit of condensation on it from the cold. But yeah, the cardstock is really lovely. It has a gorgeous matte finish. Here are the backings. Again, I feel like you're seeing just my fingerprints from the condensation from the cold. I should have waited until these warmed up before I filmed this, but it's a very pretty backing that just has this sort of bright yellow color with a very kind of intricate design on it. It's a very subtle design because it's white on yellow, so it's not super in your face or anything. It's just a very kind of subtle looking card back. And then again, this gold edging is really beautiful. I mean, these are just clearly very high quality cards, so so I'm really, really pleased with that. Size wise, you know, this does feel a bit larger as a deck, so I'm just gonna get out an RWS to compare, and you can see that these are quite a bit larger in terms of the size of the cards to just your sort of standard. This is just the standard borderless RWS. So they are quite large, and they are very lovely, thick cardstock, and the matte finish on them is really, really beautiful. And the gilded edges are beautiful as well. So I'm going to go ahead and readjust my setup here and just kind of start flipping through some of these cards to take a bit of a closer look at them. I'm already super excited about this deck. Like, I think the quality of it is absolutely gorgeous. So and like I said, I really enjoy her art style. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little closer here, and let's take a look at the cards. So here's a little bit of a closer look at the cards. And again, you can see, you know, it's a very, very nice cardstock. And here's a little bit closer of an image of the backs. Again, I don't have the world's best lighting in here, and it's yellow, white on yellow, so it's a little bit hard to see in this lighting, but it is just a very pretty sort of subtle design on the back. And we start here with the Magician. I actually looked ahead pretty quick, and it looks like she actually has the Fool numbered as number 22. So that's a little bit different from, you know, the normal numerological correspondences that I use and that a lot of decks use, but that's fine. I don't have a ton of concern with that. I know that, you know, the Fool kind of can be placed at both the beginning and the end of the majors, so so that works just fine for me. But so I'm just going to start flipping through these, and you can kind of get a sense here of the artwork. You can see it has a very, very sort of folk arty kind of feel. The cards do have borders, but they're pretty narrow. It's just this very subtle sort of double line border with a little bit of white on the outside. So it's not an obtrusive border at all. I don't have any issues with that. And so again here too, you can see that the imagery is very, very traditional. You know, it has a lot of callbacks to the sort of Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, but just with a little bit of a different kind of look to the artwork that I really like a lot. So here's the Empress. She's really beautiful. I love how bright the colors are. They're very bright and pure, and you know, it feels like very hand-painted art. And like I've said before, it has that kind of folk art feel to it, which really appeals to me. A little more traditional lover's card here with the two women and the Cupid. And I love the chariot here. You can see it just the, you know, the way that it's drawn, it's clearly, the shapes are all a little bit simpler and sketchier because it is done via wood burning, and it does have that kind of naive feel to it. And here's Strength, which I think is beautiful. I just love the bright, pure colors. Here's the Hermit. And the Wheel. Justice. The Hanged Man. I really like this Hanged Man with the crows in the tree. It gives you a little bit of a callback to, you know, to Odin a little bit. That sort of meaning of the Hanged Man. Death. Temperance. Yeah, I really love this artwork. I think it's beautiful. The Devil. The Tower. The Star. Isn't she lovely? And the Moon. And the Sun. I like this. I always kind of prefer this interpretation of the Sun, as many people do, to the baby on the horse, which always looks awkward to me. Here's Judgment. So again, very traditional imagery, but just interpreted in a little bit different style. The World. And here's the Fool as number 22. And I love, again, the bright colors, the motley, the rainbow, you know, the happy face on the sun. Like I really enjoy the look of this artwork a lot. So from here we go into the Cups, the Ace, the 2, the 3. You know, it is very traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. The 4, 5, the 6. I really like that. That's sweet. The 7, the 8. I do wish the 8 had water in it. I usually like my 8 of Cups to have some water, but that's really pretty. The 9. I actually like this 9 a lot. This guy doesn't look quite as smug. He looks like he's sitting amongst genuine riches rather than our normal man-spreading 9 of Cups that we see in the Rider-Waite-Smith. And the lovely 10. And then here's the Page. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. And I do like how, you know, there's definitely some echoes of the coloring throughout, you know, one set of quartz. And especially how the King and Queen kind of match. I like that. So here we have the Pentacles, the Ace, 2, 3. I think that's really beautiful. I like that one a lot. It's an interesting take on the Three of Pentacles when you only see the one person working without the other folks there. And the 4. The 5. And you know, I really like just, again, it's that sort of naive quality where the poses of the people, it almost is a sort of range from like American folk art to a little bit of a medieval look in the way that some of the people are posed. And, you know, it's just, I really enjoy that art style a lot. The 6. 7. The 8. The 9. Beautiful bright colors. And the 10. And again, here's the page. The Knight. Queen. And the King. So now we go into the swords. Got the Ace. This 2, I like the 2. The 3, again, you can see very traditional. I like this 4, how the shield and the helmet are set down, but it still looks like a person sleeping. And the 5. The 6. I like this a lot too. I like that there's more people in the boat, and it's, you know, the person who's kind of steering the boat is sort of more of a leader. The 7. The 8. The 9. So this is a bit different take on the 9 of Swords with, you know, this woman sitting with gravestones around her. And it's a beautiful card, I think. And it is a bit different of a take, and I do like it. There's a lot you can kind of get out of that in terms of, you know, fears of what a person might be seeing in their mind. And here's the 10. The page. The Knight. The Queen. I like the look of her. I like her face. And the King. And then finally we have the Wands. Look at the beautiful bright colors of this. The 2. The 3. The 4. That's beautiful. I love that it's a little cottage. That's very sweet. The 5, kind of in a little bit of a kind of Colosseum looking thing there, fighting. The 6. The 7. The 8. You know, I oftentimes find 8s of Wands a little bit kind of boring, but I like the way that there's movement in this picture from, you know, the sort of grass growing in the blowing in the wind, and how you kind of have this high up perspective on what's going on the ground. You know, you can sort of see a little river down there and some trees, and I don't know, I like that. I like that card. There's the 9 and the 10, and then we have the page working. I'm just going to hold this up kind of close so you can sort of see how, you know, again, because everything's wood burned, it has a little bit of a kind of a very sort of sketchy hand-drawn kind of quality. And then, you know, with these bright colors of the oil paints overlaid on the top. And I really like that combination. I think that it's beautiful artwork, and it's a style that appeals to me. You know, it might not appeal to everybody, but for me, it very much appeals. And I do think that, you know, again, for what ended up being kind of a small Kickstarter, in terms of the quality that she went for of this deck, it's really impressive. I mean, the cardstock is wonderful. You know, the finish on it is wonderful. The gilding is wonderful. Like the box, I mean, everything about it is just really nice. So, you know, it was a pricey deck, but I'm super happy that I got it, because again, if it's a style of art that appeals, then, you know, I think that she did a really beautiful job on the deck. So I'm really excited to have it. I've been looking forward to this one for a while, and I haven't seen a lot of other walkthroughs of this deck out there, again, just because I think that, you know, as a Kickstarter, it just wasn't, it didn't get as much attention as some of the other ones happening at the same time. But I think that, you know, it would be really terrible to overlook this deck, because I think it's beautifully produced, and if it's a style of artwork that appeals to you, you know, with the bright colors and the kind of folk art feel, and it just, you know, it really has a lot to recommend it, and it's a beautiful deck. And she was really wonderful to deal with throughout the process as well. You know, she kept people updated on her choices as far as what she was going to do, you know, with the printing, what kind of cardstock she was going to be picking, you know, keeping us up to date on how everything progressed through production. And so I think, you know, for somebody who I think was probably kind of new at Kickstarter, she did a really lovely job, and ended up producing a really beautiful deck. So I am super excited to have it. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I will be back again some point in the very near future with some more videos now that my voice works again, and I'll be also catching up on everybody else's now that I can think again. So I'm way behind, but I'll be around a lot more from here on out. So so anyway, thanks again for watching. Have a great one. Bye bye.